Hey, how's it going? Josh here from Books by Josh, and this is episode number 76 of the Books by Josh audio immersion. This episode is titled Making Other People's Day. What do I mean by that? Well, make them happy. Nah, but seriously, this is going to go from advice to a rant and back to some advice, but it's inspired because the other day I was working like normal. It was a normal day, but then there was one customer who did something that almost no customer ever does. They apologized. Yeah, they apologized. They At the end of the conversation, wrap up everything, they apologized for their behavior. It might not seem like a big deal to you, but in my field of work where I'm getting upset, irate customers, clientele calling throughout the day, an apology goes a long way and it makes me remember them. Because my job is to make sure they leave happy. Even if some of them do, not all of them will apologize. Some thank me for helping them out, things like that. But the thank you is like, oh, you helped me out, thank you. But to apologize because they came at me a certain type of way. What do I mean by came at me a certain type of way? Well, customers sometimes start screaming, asking for a manager, this person, that they would sell a bag of goods, cursing at me, things like that. I tolerate a lot. Before I release a call, or hang up a call. So, let's talk about why. This is an important thing to do. By making other people's day, you're essentially leaving an impression on them that's going to last for a couple days, a week, you don't know. But the whole thing is if you can harness this power, then it will elevate your way of life, your earnings, business, relationships, and so many other aspects of life. I can't think of any more, but there's a lot more. But seriously, because you're helping others rather than worrying about yourself. So I'm not talking about take off the clothes off your back to give it to the next person you see. No, but if you wholeheartedly help someone out, they're going to remember you. And I said impression. I'm not talking about first impressions because the thing is, oh, you always make a good first impression. But guess what? We mess those up all the time. Know how many times I messed up a first impression, but still got something done at the end? It happens, but you want the person to feel appreciated. You want them to feel you value them as a person, as a client, as a customer, and value their business. So, let's say you work in a normal store. You work a stationery store, for example, right? And you have a client that you've seen there a couple times. Why not learn their name so next time they come by the store, you say, hey, Joe, how's everything? And they think, hey, this person remember my name. Things like that go a long way. It's like when I hold doors open for people. It's just normal for me. I don't do it to get thank you or anything. It's just something I do naturally. And guess what? You don't know what that person's going through. Just a small, simple gesture can go a long way. On the other day, I saw on YouTube a guy going around asking if he could photograph customers or people and their dogs. So there was a man walking his dog, and he showed him his DSLR and start a conversation and say, "Hey, I'm wondering if I could photograph your dog. If not, it's alright, and I can email you the pictures if you like." And he did it, and the guy was genuinely smiling because maybe he's never had his picture taken with the dog, things like that, and it's memories. So he made someone's day, and he's going to be remembered for it. And let's bring this back around. And like I said, it may seem like common sense using somebody's name, things like that, remembering them, remembering their drink while they feel like a barista, stuff like that. But it's not. And one of the ways I know it's not is because in my job I'm taking calls in. So these customers are upset, as I said earlier. But after getting the information, I always ask for a callback number in case the call drops or we get disconnected, things like that. And the big thing about that is that by asking that, the customers open up more. They feel like you're actually trying to help them because the calls have dropped before or they got hung up on. So by doing this small gesture, asking for a number back, guess what? You're going to be able to get them to trust you more. And there's other things you can do, like using their name in the conversation, working with them to make sure you're answering all their questions, things like that. And my results speak for themselves. Josh, how do you know your results speak for yourself? Well, I didn't always deal with customers over the phone. Before the pandemic, I used to do more front client-facing or client-facing roles, dealing with customers in public, in retail. So when I worked retail, I gave the best customer service experience I could. Not because I was getting paid anything extra for helping customers out, making sure that they could come to me anytime they had a question, even if it wasn't to buy anything or anything like that. No, because I genuinely cared about helping people, and it paid off in the long run because they would refer friends or family to me, and those same people would refer more customers. And it got to a point that most of my sales were through referrals. And even not in the state or the same city, throughout the country from the referrals. And it's because I helped them. I genuinely helped them out. And Gary Vaynerchuk, talks about this in his book, and when he does his talks about like jab, jab, and hook. Jabs are essentially you giving things away. So hey, here's a free PDF on how to do this. Here's a YouTube tutorial on how to do this. And then you hook and you ask, hey, I'm putting out a paid for a course, or I have this. If you want to take a look, thank you. And your audience, if you're jabbing good, if you're giving away free content that's good, well, more likely help you out with the hook because you've been helping them for so long and they feel like it's a way to pay you back. And now you're going to ask or think to yourself, so what are you trying to hook us on? Nothing. I'm not going to hook here. This is a jab. Just like most of my content, other than my books I write or poetry, things like that, that's paid for. That's the hook. But my podcast, my site, my YouTube videos when I post those are the jabs. And we're going to talk about making other people's day. I don't run ads on my website. Not talk about like sponsored posts. Like even those I probably wouldn't run a blog post on. I can do a sponsored like podcast or video, but a blog post, no, that's not my thing. And the reason why is I hate ads. But now you're saying, how's that making other people's days? Well, I don't know about you, but I tend to read a lot online. And when I search something, it takes me to a site, and I'm reading, and I'm 2 paragraphs in. You know what annoys me? When I get a pop-up saying, sign up for our newsletter. You close that. And there's ads on the left, ads on the right, there's banner ads, there's so many ads. Or there's a paywall. To continue reading, New York Times, please log in to your subscription. Like, it's annoying, honestly. It's a headache that you have to go through all this. I'm already 2 paragraphs in. I want to keep reading, but I can't because I don't have a pay for subscription. So that's why I keep my content on there ad free. I know ads pay the website bills, but hosting things like that, I eat those costs. It's a business expense. But the whole thing is you want to make other people's days because it's going to leave that lasting impression. And if you're a business owner, content creator, whoever, by leaving that good taste in someone's mouth, they're more likely to consume your content or shop again at your establishment, things like that. Tell their friends. Okay? But if you fake it, it's not going to help you because they can spot fake. They can know if you're being nice just to get the sale. I'm not telling you to invite them to Thanksgiving dinner, but honestly, help the person out. Do your best, and even if you can't help them, there's been times I can't help people. I try my best, and it's just beyond my control, but guess what? I took ownership of the problem, did my best, and they understand that. And they're happy. And you don't know, you might make that one joke that makes the customer laugh or anything. If they're going through a hard time, you might get them through that day. That's all I'm saying. And that's honestly it for this episode number 76. 24 more, and we're on episode 100. Will there be anything special? I don't know. But don't count on it, or do count on it. But anyway, see you guys in the next one. Bye.